to wherever we were going.
Yeah,
Um,
or certain deaths.
yeah, that's what it felt like.
It
So
felt
I,
like paying for your own death.
yeah, and nobody's gonna find us. That
No,
was also the beauty of it is like, cool, we have these tourists that die. Well, we'll just stash the body somewhere, and we'll be,
put them in the river.
nobody will know.
Do you know how
Um,
muddy that river was? Oh my God, you'd find a thing in there, including.
I
Well, we'll go into that.
we'll get into that. So, do you want to jump to that, or do you have something else to add
Sure, I
to?
would love to. Love to.
Okay, literally jumping to
Uh,
it.
so we're exiting the caves of Guatemala, and the only way out is a rope swing into the river, which is pretty badass. I was very into it. So into it that I believe I was the first one. No, I'm sorry. Jordan was the first one to go.
I think, yeah, we did it a couple times, but
We
I'm
did?
not. Yeah, oh yeah, because we. It only took one to ruin it, but we went a couple times because it was super fun. Like,
Okay, wait. Let me stop you right there.
okay,
I don't believe I went more than one time.
I think I think what happened. So the first time around, I think you took your GoPro off. I don't think you had your GoPro on, because we were just trying to have fun. I'm pretty sure I went at least twice. Maybe you only went once, but I know I went at least twice. The first time just went off and was
Okay.
like, sick. This was great. I just launched myself out in the middle of this muddy brown river, hoping that I wouldn't hit
Here's how it
anything.
went down. Here's how it went down. We are exiting the cave to Guatemala. The only way out is the rope swing. Jordy and I, you and I,
Yeah.
we're like, okay, who can do the better backflip? Like, let's have a, you know me, I love betting, I love competition. I don't know what we bet, probably $2.
Yeah.
But
A cab ride.
yeah, I mean, I was flush with cash. So I say to you, I'm like, hey man, whoever does the best backflip into the river gets $2. And you're like, done, let's go. So you go first. And to your
Only
credit, it
I
was
did a
okay.
I did a front flip though.
You did a front flip.
I
Okay.
did a front flip.
That's
I
fine.
did,
Whatever flip
yeah.
was the best. And we told the
Yeah.
rest of the group, you guys can judge. So you went first, and to your
Nailed it.
credit, it was a
Nailed it.
fine. It was okay. It was like a
Dude,
7.
oh come on, man. I just flip pencil straight in, no splash. I'm sure of it. I couldn't see it, but I felt it.
Now I go second, and I have the GoPro strapped to my forehead. All right. Now, okay, yeah, you had a pretty good front flip, and I'm like, all right, I got to match or be better than that. So I'm just thinking about my form and everything. So, all right, I'm getting ready, and I spot my landing, and I pull my feet up, right, and I'm on this big rope swing, and I'm gaining speed, lots of speed, right, and I'm just at the bottom of the trough, and right at the bottom of the trough, I'm like, this seems good enough, and I let go in full force, like a cartwheel, and I look like what's the painting from Da Vinci, the Vitruvian Man. You know, where
That's
all his
exactly what,
limbs are out. I
dude.
think that's a Da Vinci painting. It's called the
Yeah.
Vitruvian Man.
Oh man.
All my limbs are out. And as I'm flying through the air, not up or down, but sideways, my GoPro whips off my head because I throw my head back with such force. Whips the GoPro off my head into the river. I smack the
Uh,
river immediately, and I can open my eyes. The river is muddy. I go to the surface. I can see all these Guatemalan children jumping in the river and swimming, not towards me, not towards me at all, but where the GoPro was, because they know that's hundreds of dollars, and I would pay a ransom to get it back.
oh man.
Uh, I'm swimming to where I don't know. I was in complete disarray at that point. I got to the shore, and I had my phone on me or some sort of protective, wet sack or some shit like that. But like,
Yeah,
I connected my phone to the Wi-Fi of the GoPro, which showed me a live shot of it at the bottom of the river. And I was like, I don't know where you are, man. And like hundreds of
yeah.
Guatemalan kids couldn't find it either. And I
Oh my
remember
gosh.
never bribing
Yeah.
them. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
here's $2. If you can find this, you can
Find it.
have it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
and
forgot about
alas,
the connection.
it was all in vain.
Uh,
We never found it, and it kind of sucks because it had a lot of good footage of it, including meeting all of these people and going on a great spelunking trip.
Yeah.
We might have after that gone on a few more rope swings.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That was
just for the
definitely
hell of it.
you were really bummed. So from my
I
perspective,
was bummed.
I went I went first. I come out as I'm climbing up out of the river. You're already full swing, back flipping,
I couldn't
whipping
wait.
your head.
I was
Oh my
so
gosh.
ready to get into it. I'll be right back. You
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah. Oh man, it was fantastic. So I'm climbing out of the river like, everybody's like, giving me scores and I'm just like into this. I'm like, this is great. I'm having a lot of fun. This is too good. And then as I look up, Christian comes soaring past me in like you said, at the bottom of the rope swing where you've got the most like velocity. He just launched himself off and cartwheeled way out in the middle of the river. It didn't even like I think he landed on his head. He didn't even like he didn't
My head hit first.
yeah, you definitely didn't stick the landing.
No, well, I did if you consider your head sticking the landing.
Well, yeah. Oh, I was just cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing, and I felt so bad. We saved your hat, though. I remember making a joke
Well,
about that, and you were like, I don't even care. You were not amused.
but the
I
main
was
thing
trying.
was I feel like a lot of people got a lot of laughter out of that, and
Oh,
it's
man.
something that it's one of those things that we'll never forget, and it was one of the best moments of my life losing
Yeah.
that because it
Oh,
was
man.
so ridiculous.
I still like I've got such a vivid image of that particular situation, and I will never forget it. It definitely was probably one of the funniest things I have ever seen.
That's
It was
crazy.
so good.
The best part about
So
it to me is that wasn't a joke. I was actually trying. That's my favorite
no.
part. That was not
So
a joke.
that set the bar for every time we go out on trips, we have to do backflips. So
Backflip. Yeah.
I was scared to do backflips up to that point. Since then, I'm like, I don't care. It can't be worse than Christians.
No,
So like, and knowing the reaction and the laughs that you got, I don't even care if I mess up because if I can get even half of that, then I'm happy. Um, so you've given me confidence to mess up on backflips in front of people that I don't really know.
there's nothing. I don't see if you do a perfect backflip, people are like, man, sweet. Who cares? Nobody cares.
No,
You
you're
know.
absolutely right.
But you know what people are going to remember forever? A cartwheel spinning through the air and hitting your head first. That's
I
what
definitely won't
you
forget
know.
it.
That's the
Um,
backflip you want, and that's the backflip I got.
you had another really good one, like tangent real quick. Another really good one when we were in Colombia. Remember we had that little weekend trip up to Cartagena,
I'm
and
going to
then
stop you right there. Are we not doing a Columbia?
we are doing Colombia. We can do
Leave
Colombia.
it for that
I'll leave it for
because I
that.
know
Yeah.
where you were going.
Oh yeah. There was a lot more that happened in Colombia because we were there for a while. All right. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. Um, so after your epic backflip, it was time to hop on the tubes and float back down to the hostel. So this was like our big day before we headed out, like start our trip back home. Yeah, before our trip started ending. So hopped on these tubes that were just like we walked up this sketchy. You remember that sketchy bridge we jumped off of? That was like,
Boy, do I.
oh man, there was a handful of like just like it was just timber laying across like these steel beams. It was yeah, so sketchy.
Again,
We cro-
safety not accounted for.
it's not an issue there apparently. So we hiked up through that up to the top of this hill to grab those tubes. You remember they look like old. I don't even know. They just look gross. But they're
Yeah,
all there, and that's all that we needed them to do because we were going to
they're
sit on them
old.
and then float down the river.
There was an old game. I don't know if you remember, but there was. You know what? It's probably too ridiculous. But it's like a river rafting old black tube, like the ones they use in the 80s and 90s and shit. You
Yep.
know, like old
Yep.
school black tubes
Yeah,
with
industrial.
patches in them. You know, like you would sew your own patch into it, like that
Yeah,
kind
yep.
of stuff.
Yep. That's exactly what these were. We had a nice relaxing tube ride down. it was really eventful. It was relaxing. It was eventful because there were kids. You remember these kids that were trying to sell beers to everybody?
Boy, do I.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I was what it was great, this beautiful system. So you would say, "Throw me a beer," and they would, and
yeah,
you would catch it. I would catch it obviously because I'm a natural born athlete, but I would have always catch it, and then I'm like, oh man, I don't know how they're ever gonna find us. At the end of the river, they'd be like, "You owe me $5 or
yeah.
whatever."
Yep.
Genius, little entrepreneurs.
But they would. We were a good probably 20 or 30 yards away, and these guys were just launching with accuracy, tall boys, straight into your hand.
Yeah,
Or if
right in my
not,
mouth.
like it was unbelievable. Because they were walking with us the entire way down, just yelling at us
They don't
for
have
beer.
anything other. They don't have anything else to do. They are Guatemalan jungle boys. What are they gonna
So,
do? They can go home and play Xbox. Let's, you know.
but we'll be real. Uh, and so you kept making you kept making jokes because it was your way of mourning and grieving your loss. But you kept
Oh
making
yeah.
jokes like, "Oh, that'd be really great if I had a
Oh, that's a good
GoPro."
photo op or something like that. You know.
Yeah, oh, over and over and over. It was too funny. Um, though I felt so bad because, well, you ended up losing a lot more stuff that I recalled by the end of that trip. We were sitting in the airport getting ready to leave, which we'll get to. Um, but we we had at this point, we had a little saying that was really, we were saying it probably way too much, but it was coming in hot. Remember? Coming in hot.
Oh, yeah.
We kept saying it all the time. And our buddy Cam, so as we're getting so we're getting towards the end of this little float trip where we have to get off to where the hostel is. You know, Cam's trying to do this. He's a sweetheart, very soft spoken, and just kind of like goes with the flow, really laid back kind of guy.
He's the
And
Australian guy, and
it,
we all know Australians are just the best people.
that's true. That's true. Uh, and so he was the last one out of out of the river. We get off pretty early, or we get out before him. We're like, come on, Cam. He's out in the middle of the river. We got to like coax him back over, and he's just sitting here floating. His the demeanor of it was just too perfect. He just sitting there, coming in hot, like not hot at all. Not like no like emotion to
Well,
match what you're saying.
let me backtrack a little here.
Okay.
We had been using that phrase, yes, primarily when we were doing the backflips, coming off this rope swing, coming in at 20 miles per hour, like really
Yeah.
coming in hot. A little further up the river before we got to where we ended, Cam had, when he was going for one of these beers, somehow ripped his trunks, just ripped them right down the middle.
That's
And his
right.
ass was hanging out. His full ass. Cam's a big dude, and his ass is hanging out. And by the end, and it started to rain on this Guatemalan muddy river.
I forgot about the
It
rain.
started to rain. His ass was hanging out. He was pretty drunk at that point. And then we got to the end, and he was so dejected. His only reaction was coming in hot.
He sounded so defeated.
He was
Oh, it's too
defeated.
funny.
Defeated is the
He was
word.
just
He was
very
defeated.
defeated. And he was saying that like I ripped my pants, but we didn't notice it because you and I waited for
Oh,
him.
I noticed it. I was behind him.
Well, but he said it in the river, but we didn't notice it until we got out of the river because we were behind him. Like we waited for him to get out. He left. He led the charge, and his whole like right down the seam, his butt crack, a good 5 or 6 inches of it, right, was just every step. His shorts would open up, and you just like get a little glimpse inside his butt, and it was a fun walk back. It was just full of laughter.
Yeah, weird scenes inside the gold mine, for sure.
Inside the gold mine. um, so we had this is kind of where everybody else adjusted to our plans because we had to get back for our flight in like a few days. So, um, okay.
Don't worry about him.
We get we get we get back to we go to Antigua where we have a night to stay, and everybody was still want to hang out. So we kind of